Et bonjour à tous, c'est Itakos, on se retrouve pour un nouvel épisode sur The Stanley Parable. Donc on va essayer de faire la dernière fin des boutons. Ah, voilà. Et il ne reste plus qu'un reset, je peux reset comme ça. Et on devrait avoir la fin. Ah bah tiens, il n'y a plus le... Ah. Bienvenue Stanley au paradis. Oh, c'est des boutons. Ah, des boutons. Le paradis. Le paradis de Stanley, des boutons partout. Est-ce qu'il se réactive? Est-ce que je peux tous les... Non. Dans mes souvenirs, ça sert à rien, on peut pas tous les... Ouais, voilà, il se réactive. Ok, bah voilà. Ils sont dans les murs, les boutons, ils sont partout. Oh, bon, allez, c'est tout, c'est la fin des boutons. Hop. Et maintenant, prenons ce saut et commençons les autres fins, les fins alternatives de l'édition de luxe. Ah mais du coup maintenant j'ai plus qu'à cliquer là et ça me la relance automatiquement. Ok.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
Ça a toujours tourné sur la gauche? Dans ma tête ça tournait sur la droite, non? On est d'accord? Normalement on sort là et on tourne à droite. Excusez-moi. Je suis pas fou hein. Normalement les bureaux ils sont à droite hein. Ouais, je suis sûr. Normalement on tourne à droite. Eh, pourquoi il me ferme la porte? Eh, je voulais la fin glitchée. Ah bon bah tant pis.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed.
Bon ok, normalement toutes les fins ont changé. Donc on va déjà peut-être... Bon, on va commencer par la droite. Allez, c'est parti.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Oh oui, allons là.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
Oui,
was this better than the meeting room? Yes,
le saut a toujours raison.
Yes, perhaps it truly was.
Oui, le saut me dit les choses.
Turned out to be.
Bravo le saut.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Ok, alors là...
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Okay.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Well, from here, it looks like the only way forward is down, since the lift won't be coming back. But that's okay. You've got a bucket.
Ah.
Did you know that buckets are routinely used as cushioning devices?
Oui, dans Minecraft.
You can fall on a bucket from literally any height.
Non, mais dans Minecraft, tu mets un seau d'eau et tu le places à tes pieds quand tu tombes. Bon bah c'est bon alors.
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Le saut ne m'a pas sauvé. Ma vie n'est que mensonge. Bon.
Hello. This is
Bonjour.
a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work.
Ok.
The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages.
Les dangers, ok, un message enregistré pour prévenir du danger des messages enregistrés.
Please terminate it immediately.
Éliminez ce message immédiatement. Et effacez toutes les informations que vous venez d'apprendre. D'accord, ok, j'ai eu un message enregistré sur les dangers des messages enregistrés. Et du coup, je dois oublier le message que m'a donné ce message enregistré. Parce qu'il est dangereux. Je dois l'oublier. Ah, cette fois la porte s'est pas fermée.
The confusion
je peux y
and
aller.
chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Est-ce que je peux retourner dans mon bureau? Attends, j'ai retourné dans mon bureau avec le seau.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision?
Ah
What if
mince,
a crucial
ça change pas
outcome
le son.
fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself,
Je regarde si
is
ça
to
change un peu.
wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed,
Oh,
then days.
ah, je peux plus
Had
sortir.
years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive.
Non, non,
Soon,
c'est la même fin.
very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Voilà. Ah, okay. Le son n'a rien changé. Ok, je vais essayer la fin glitchée maintenant, la fin à travers la fenêtre.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms.
Ah oui.
With the bucket in his arms
Ah, c'est
again,
chaud.
he was
Et en effet, j'ai
out.
pas trouvé le
Stanley
trou.
clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone? Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
Qui es-tu, le
The
saut?
bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed,
Ah ouais?
desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans,
C'est un nazi.
and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if
Oula.
only it had been stronger,
Mais c'est un saut.
of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man,
Ok.
to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim.
Très bien.
The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself.
Oula, qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception.
Oula.
This was way too much for Stanley.
Oui, je
What
comprends.
are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this,
secours.
the bucket furrowed its brow.
Mais il a pas de sourcil, c'est un saut.
Said the bucket. Not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as
What the
payback
fuck?
for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of...
No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why
Putain,
are
mais-
you even doing this?
Très sous le
As
saut.
Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket
Trop
revealed
bien.
its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold
Oula.
power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages
Les 12
and
emblèmes
knew
des
the
sages.
incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise,
Non, non,
we would have
c'est le roi
easily been
démon.
overwhelmed by the
Il était
bucket's
réincarné en
power.
saut.
I'm speechless.
C'est le nouvel
He's
isekai.
demonstrated such bravery here today. Come,
J'ai pas dit le roi
let's
démon.
restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away
Il
inside of
saigne.
it.
Oh, c'est génial. Ok, je sens que les fins du saut vont vraiment être bien.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Ah, c'est
Stanley
génial.
decided to go to the meeting room. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone
Mais
again.
non, le
Not
saut est
truly
toujours là.
alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had
Mais si,
felt
mais
the
si, le
bucket
saut est encore
calling
vivant,
to him,
voyons.
telling him
Le saut est
that
là.
the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No.
Est-ce que je peux
Never mind.
monter encore sur la
The
petite
bucket was
passerelle là?
wrong.
Enfin, sur
Stanley
la
took the
planche.
door on his left to go
Je me souviens
back
plus
to
s'il y
the
avait une
meeting
fin
room.
là.
No,
Par là.
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go
Parce qu'il y avait
somewhere
un
else.
truc, mais.
The cargo lift, yes. Go there.
Là.
Go to the cargo lift.
Je sais pas si ça va faire quelque chose ici. Je me souviens plus ce que c'était ici. Mais c'est la fin du nouveau contenu. Ah, la fin, oui, narrateur n'est qu'un enregistrement. Ça change quelque chose. Mais y a pas de narrateur? Il parle pas? Oh!
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel
C'est la voix de Stanley.
every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down.
Il est bizarre ce saut. Hein.
Doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
Ah, la DLC.
Yes.
Mais genre, c'est pour ça?
It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay.
C'est l'origine de la création de la Ultimate Edition, là, enfin de la Deluxe Edition. Ça, si vous voulez monétiser le saut.
Golden ticket. But I have to be careful because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me. What's that? Who's there?
C'est le roi des démons. Tout est lié. Toutes les fins sont liées. Oh putain. Ok. Donc le saut est vraiment le roi démon et la première fin donc qu'on a fait c'était la vraie fin, la bonne fin.
Wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all. The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chin. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Définitivement le roi démon.
And here it was.
Il s'est fait isekai dans mon monde.
Was no, never mind.
Et en jouant à ce jeu, c'est pour monétiser justement la puissance du saut du roi démon. Je le savais. Il reste encore les deux fins de...
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
De la femme.
Cargo lift, yeah. Good,
said the bucket.
Good.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Okay.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Et on est passé à un moment sur cette passerelle, je crois, dans une des fins. Dans la fin mémoire, je sais
In
plus.
here,
Said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Ah, la pièce plus loin. Tiens. Ok. Obéissons au saut.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Non, mais ensemble, on n'a jamais vécu un... Je refuse!
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously.
Parce que le roi démon.
Mess up the joke. Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Oh, how comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh wait, yes there is.
Oh oui, une vidéo sur comment rire.
It's sitting right here.
Ah, c'est utile ça. Ok, parti.
What is comedic timing?
Ok.
What is comedic timing?
J'ai compris.
How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes.
Parfait.
Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half. Pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm dunny with the funny."
I'm dunny with the funny.
I'm dunny with the funny.
I'm dunny with the funny. I'm dunny with the funny. C'est vraiment plus drôle en anglais.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery.
On refait le chemin.
Come along,
avec les blagues.
Head back.
Ok. Ah, on revient. Ok. C'est parti. Ah, il m'a remis les barrières. J'aurais bien aimé quand même.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous.
Mais du coup, je connais la blague.
What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now? Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
The bucket. The bucket. J'adore. I'm Danny with the funny. Faut que je la garde celle-là. Moi, ça se traduit pas vraiment en français. Okay.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Oh, est-ce qu'on peut choisir du coup? Oh, j'ai envie d'aller vraiment à gauche du coup. Ah, je crois qu'il y a plus.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Pardon.
Here we go.
Ah, ok.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No, what's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms.
Ah ouais, les blagues en fait. Si on arrive directement à la chute, c'est pas drôle.
Build up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit, which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake.
Vraiment une mauvaise mémoire.
I don't deserve the title of
Même moi je connais mieux les embranchements du jeu.
I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think
Oh non, on va pas la re-regarder.
I can rewatch that instructional video again.
Oh, please.
Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
Oh.
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes.
Oh non, il fait des blagues sur les seaux.
I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery?
Stanley, il est pas super réactif. C'est que c'est la même fin mais avec un doublage différent.
Another word to describe a bucket. Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this.
Ouais.
I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos.
Oh non, mais ça s'apprend pas l'humour. Enfin, pas vraiment.
More instructional videos. Let's see.
Ok. What the fuck? C'était censé être la fin de l'épisode là, mais...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ok, c'est juste une version différente du bureau. Bon, on va quand même arrêter là du coup. Trop bizarre. En tout cas, j'espère que cet épisode vous aura plu. C'était Itakos et on se retrouve dans 2 jours pour la suite de cet let's play sur The Stanley Parable édition Ultra Deluxe. Si je dis pas de bêtises, chaque fois j'oublie le nom. Allez, tchuss.